believe we're back. Hopefully, maybe, perhaps. Are we back? Hey, look at that. We good? Lined up? Matched up? Good? Everything's good? Perfect? Confirmation? Yes? Audio? And it's working? Hey, we did it! All right. So what were we talking about? The Cowboys? Amari Cooper? Good move? Bad move? All right, so if you have not yet already, or you already did, and hit the share button again, because that helps. Lips matching everything. Ryan England in the house. What's up, DC fam? Everything looks great now. Perfect. Yes, we're back. Yes, yes, yes. Harold Orozco says, yes, you're black. All right. Eric Sharp says, good move. Thank you. Yeah, you can't have the lips and everything not matched up properly. All right, let's, I'll give everybody a second here to rejoin, hit the share button, do your thing, because obviously it's important to get everybody going here, get everybody back. So, again, I'm Ari Temkin. You can catch me as part of the pre- and post-game show for the Cowboys at 105.3 The Fan. With Jesse Holley, I do every single Dallas Cowboys pre- and post-game show. And, of course, Phantom, the new world order of sports media at Phantom. We are putting you at the center of the Dallas sports discussion. So that's what this is. It's an interactive show. Your participation is of paramount importance. And so that's what we're doing here. Every day, 12 o'clock Central, we are discussing the latest and greatest as it pertains to the Dallas freaking Cowboys, who, again, say that, the move, they say a lot about their present and their future with this move by, again, believing that they are a playoff team, and two, that the future of their franchise, Jason Garrett, Dak Prescott, Scott Linehan, that is still very much in doubt, and that's they're giving these guys the piece that they believe could be the difference to making them a successful football team this season. And if they don't make chicken salad out of this chicken bleep, then tough luck. And they're going to look at playing out the final year of Dak's contract with him continuing on his rookie deal and not with a long-term extension with a new head coach and new offensive staff. And again, like, is this a lot to give up? Yeah. Giving up a first-round draft pick's a lot to give up, and it's a risk. There's a risk involved here. But this is a calculated risk on a guy that's only 24, that in his first two seasons put up over 2,000 yards receiving and 20 plus touchdowns in two seasons. 22 touchdowns and 2,200 yards passing, receiving in his first two seasons. 2 is the magic number in his first two seasons. 2,200 yards, 22 touchdowns, 2 Pro Bowls, 2 seasons. The last 2 have been bad. 960 yards and 8 touchdowns in his last 20 games. So, season plus, the Cowboys look at this and say, what's the number one skill set that Amari Cooper has? We know that he's got issues and has over the course of his career with drops. But the number one thing, the number one attribute for Amari Cooper is his release. He's able to get open immediately off the line of scrimmage. He is a great route runner, very polished route runner, and he is great on the release. So the Cowboys have been sorely lacking somebody that can get themselves open. Now, that was what Scott Linehan, I guess, said he wanted, but obviously 7 games in, and it's obvious that wasn't going to work. This is one of the worst offenses in the NFL. It was fool's gold what happened against Jacksonville, because Jacksonville decided to play them straight up and played right into the Cowboys' hands. What we've seen more so this year is a lack of playmaking, a lack of scoring, a lack of yardage than anything else. Patrick Prescott says Derek Carr is as bad as Dak, perhaps even worse. Eric Sharp says he just drops too many. Ryan Ariano says Amari's a great route runner. Ryan, where have you been, man? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Harold Orozco says dropping balls. Chris Terrell says Cooper, Gallup, and Beasley let the ball fly. Opens up the run game for Zeke. I mean, and that's kind of the thing is, like, their receiving core was bad, but not because it lacked depth. It was bad because it lacked a true number one and an X. And, like, you talk to anybody before the season started, it was like, yeah, they're going to need a guy that can do that. But yet the Cowboys seem to think, oh, no, we'll be fine. We don't need that guy. We've got this new offense that we don't need a number one. And 7 weeks in, it's like, yeah, we need one. So they make this move, and all of a sudden you start looking at their offensive pieces, and they're pretty good. I mean, Amari Cooper, Cole Beasley in the slot. You have Allen Hurns. How that, when Tavon Austin comes back, if he's able to come back, there's a dynamic there. And then Zeke Elliott in the backfield. I mean, that is a dynamic grouping of weapons that the Dallas Cowboys have now. And it's amazing because it's just one move that all of a sudden gives them this new life from the receiving core. So look, I know there are a lot of people saying this is a bad move. Anybody that says right now this is a great move or a horrible move don't listen to them. They're lying and they don't know what they're talking about. Nobody knows if this is a good move or a bad move for sure in any capacity. It's a move that comes with risk. You trade a number 1 draft pick for anybody, and it comes with major significant risk. But there's nobody that can tell you it's a bad move because they got a really, really good wide receiver, the best available given the circumstances, a guy that has the potential to be one of the 5 or 10 best receivers in the game of football today. Was his first 2 years, hasn't been the last year plus, and so the Cowboys were willing to take a gamble, to give up a first-round draft pick because that was the compensation it was going to take to get it done, and they made the move. Whether it works or doesn't work, at least they took a shot to try to win now with one move that could help them become a playoff team this season. And again, it's just one move, but look at how much that one move means for that entire receiving core. And that was kind of the issue is when you saw this team in camp, it was like they've got depth at the receiver position. It was going to be an issue for who they were going to cut, but they didn't have a true number 1. And now that they do, and they've got a guy that's best attribute is his release, like that's everything you could ever hope for in a legit number 1. Does he have issues with drops? Sure. But you're not going to find any receiver on the market that is without flaw. You're not going to find it. And Antonio Brown is not available in the trade market. I mean, Julio Jones is great. He doesn't catch touchdown passes. He has 0 touchdown passes this year, Julio Jones. Catches. Let's see here. If Dallas trades any of their linemen, it'll be Tyron Smith. I mean, they're not going to look. Has their offensive line been great? No. Has their offensive line been good? Yeah. It wasn't good in the Washington game, but don't let that fool you. They've been pretty good throughout the majority of the year. And again, the hierarchy of issues for the Cowboys this season: offensive coaching, head coach, quarterback, receivers, offensive line. And you can go receivers, quarterback, coaching. I mean, 4th is offensive line. That's 4th. Joey Casanova says we need a quarterback who can throw an accurate 20-yard pass on 3rd and 20 instead of dumping it for 5 yards, hoping the receiver can get the remaining 15. Sure. Yeah. Every team needs a quarterback that doesn't throw short of the sticks on 3rd down. Scott Butler says Dez is a big distraction now, and that's why he's still not playing. Cooper's a great signing, great things to come, division leaders by the end of the season. Here's what I'll say about Dez. The Cowboys didn't view Dez as legitimate number 1 anymore. Even more to the point, they didn't view, and let's not talk about distraction, but when Tony Romo was here, he and Dez Bryant had this thing, and if Dez Bryant had single coverage on the outside, he let the quarterback know, hey, I got single coverage. And that's a good thing. It was a very good thing for the Cowboys for a very long time. The issue is Dez tried to carry that over with Dak, and that was the problem. Is he kept being like, hey, single coverage, because that's what he was supposed to do with Romo, and he kept doing it. But Dak didn't want that. They thought that was too many mouths to feed, so to speak. So Dez was a distraction from a standpoint of the thing that made him great. Like, he was just trying to do that to help the team. Like, that's rooted in a positive. That's why he's not here anymore. He's not here anymore because the Cowboys didn't view him as a number 1, but he viewed himself as a number 1. Patrick Kahn says Dak holds the ball for 3+ seconds. Hard to control your guy for that long consistently. Yeah. I mean, and you can look at a lot of the sacks this year that have been taken by Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, and not all of them are on the offensive line. Not to say, I mean, look, it's true to say the offensive line hasn't been great. It's not this, all-world offensive line that it was 2 years ago. But you know what? You don't have to have the best offensive line in football to have a competent offense. You need to have a good offensive line. You need to have, at times, a great offensive line. But and there can be this dejecting feeling, in a sense, of the offensive line, holding up its end of the bargain, but the offense not really being able to do things beyond that. And Amari Cooper can fix some of those things. Will he fix all of their offensive issues? No. But again, with a receiving core that has depth, it's going to add now a dynamic that will have a domino effect on everybody else. Cole Beasley will be better because of Amari Cooper. Jeff Swaim will be better because of Amari Cooper. Michael Gallup will be better because of Amari Cooper. Mike Wellman says, good to see you, Kippy. Who's Kippy? Efron Moreno says, now who can we draft in the second round that can be a good quarterback for us? I don't know. I guess it depends on how everything shakes out, but it'd be interesting to see if they do go quarterback in the second round of this draft, or if they look at tight end, if they look at drafting another receiver, if they look at offensive line. So, look, the Cowboys gave up a very important pick, obviously, to get a very important player back. But, the downside of that is you're now without your most coveted, important pick in the draft to help you improve. But, again, the Cowboys felt like this guy at 24, with what we've seen and what he brings to the table, is good enough to give up that first-round draft pick to do so. Herman Lopez says he demands to be double covered. Will help Zeke in the running game. Yeah. Patrick Kahn, Cooper takes a guy out of the box. No question. Now they have to respect your passing game. And again, like the drop, people keep bringing up the drops thing with Amari Cooper. I get it. He's got some drops. But that to me is like the thing that overshadows that is his ability to get that free release. And that's it's funny because the Cowboys kept talking about, we have Sanjay Lal in here who's a route guru who's going to basically teach a bunch of second and thirds at the receiver position to get a good release. And it obviously didn't work. Some of that is just physical ability. And so you can't ask certain guys to do certain things and just expect to be able to teach them that. So if you have a quarterback that tends to be inaccurate with the football and nobody that can get open by themselves, you've got what amounts to what we've seen on offense for the first 7 weeks of this season for the Dallas Cowboys. That's what we have. You have not the greatest scheme in the world mixed with a risk-averse head coach mixed with an inaccurate quarterback that's still trying to find his way and still trying to be developed, with an offensive line that's been shaky at times, and then a receiving core that can't get open. And then it's 21 to go do everything for us. Patrick Kahn, Cooper's also a guy that goes up and gets the ball. Yeah, the Cowboys said they didn't need a true number one. They were wrong. Whether they believed it or not is at this point sort of inconsequential, but it was as wrong this offseason when they said it as it is today, clearly. So the Cowboys make a gamble and make a move. It's funny because this is the kind of move that I think Cowboys fans have been wanting them to make, and yet Cowboys fans are upset by the move. Why? If you don't like the move, tell me why you don't like the move. It could be just as simple as I don't like giving up first-round draft picks, and I get that. But this is completely antithetical to what the Cowboys have been in recent history. This was the Jerry Jones Cowboys, making big blockbuster splash moves. I know some people have compared this to Roy Williams. It's not the Roy Williams trade. First of all, didn't they give up multiple first-round picks for Roy Williams? And second of all, Roy Williams was late 20s and on his way down. This guy has shown flashes of being a top 5 receiver in the game of football. He's 24 years old, and they only gave up 1 first-round draft pick to do it. Ryan England says, Ari spitting fire today. Love it, bro. I'm with you 100. Appreciate you, man. Jay Navarro says, Ari, do you think the Cowboys make the playoffs this season? Honest answer. It's hard not to believe that they could, right? The division's bad. We knew how the Redskins were going to beat the Cowboys. They were going to beat the Cowboys by forcing turnovers and running the football. Like, the Redskins are so easily beatable. So, like, the game plan for them is just be conservative. Don't turn the ball over. I mean, Alex Smith, you look at a quarterback, where are his shoulders squared? Are they squared straight? Then he's looking down the field. Alex Smith spends the entire game with his shoulders squared to either side. He's constantly throwing to the sidelines. It's a joke. That's what they want to do. They play conservative football. They want to run the ball, and they want you to turn the ball over. That's exactly what they did. 2 turnovers. One led to 7 points and 130 yards rushing from their running backs, including 100 from Adrian Peterson. Like, that's how they win. So I still, even though the Cowboys just lost to them, don't think the Redskins win this division. I think it's the Eagles or the Cowboys. And they're both at 3-4 right now, and they haven't played each other. So, if this is a different division, and they're at 3-4 right now, and 1-1 in the division, it's hard to believe they could win this division. But yeah, they're absolutely in position to win this division. Now, if they don't make a trade, then probably not. And maybe we were lying ourselves if we thought that they were, but this offense, we can finally have some faith in them going out and putting points on the board and sustaining drives. I mean, again, the Jacksonville game was the anomaly. What we've seen through 6 of the 7 games is pretty pedestrian offense. Now, the Detroit game was decent, but it still wasn't an offensive outburst. It was 26 points. And 26 points was like a gold mine for this team. David Litch says, I have a good idea. Fire the head coach. Well, David, I have good news. If they don't make the playoffs, they're going to fire the head coach. And I think this move reinforces that. I don't think Scott Linehan is going to be the sacrificial lamb. There is beginning to be a general apathy from Cowboys fans that is tied very much into Jason Garrett as the head coach. And look, there are a lot of things the Cowboys can withstand, but apathy is not one of them. So I think that answered your question, Jay. Given the division they're in, given the fact that I still think the Eagles or Cowboys will win the division, then yeah, they could still very much win this division. Will they? Well, we're going to, they make this trade at the right time, right? Now they've got 2 full weeks to get ready for Monday Night Football against the Titans next week. So, let's see what kind of an offense we see against the Tennessee Titans next Monday night, or a week from Monday night. Let's see here. Sean Moore says, LOL, drinking all this Kool-Aid, and he lost his passion for football according to his own words. Look, perhaps there's a general apathy from a standpoint of Amari Cooper because of the situation he found himself in. Maybe the Cowboys don't make this move last week because they wanted to figure out if he did like playing football. But, look, I'm of the belief that you don't have to like your job to do it. You have to like your job to do it successfully. But, look, I do think that merits further discussion. I don't think it's just something you completely dismiss. I do. And that I think is part of the risk involved here. The reward is a legitimate number 1 wideout that's 24 years old and has already been to 2 Pro Bowls and has put up 2,200 yards in 2 seasons in his career. The downside is, does he love football? Does he want to play football? Is he passionate about it? The drops and his lack of production last year. Is that him? Is it the offense? So there's risks here. But, man, at least the Cowboys are taking shots to improve their roster in areas that is glaringly obvious they needed to improve. And look, was there a move they could have made in the offseason in free agency that would have equaled Amari Cooper? Probably not. Sammy Watkins wasn't the guy. Was Allen Robinson the guy? Probably not. So when you look at the receivers that were available in free agency, and Amari Cooper probably wasn't available through trade in the offseason, then they probably made the right move. If they have Sammy Watkins, how much better is their offense? Who would you rather have, Sammy Watkins or Amari Cooper? Even with giving up a first-round pick, I'd still rather have Amari Cooper. FN Moreno says, who cares about making the playoffs when we lose in the first round? Well, look, if they make the playoffs, then we're talking about a different team. Like, you look at this team now and you're like, that team can't win in the playoffs. Well, yeah, but the team right now can't make the playoffs. So if they make the playoffs, there will have been drastic upgrades where needed. So, I mean, look, this division winner may not have 10 or 11 wins. It might take 9 and 7 to win this division, but, even if they get to 9 wins with 4 losses already, you're going to see a dramatic improvement and perhaps have more confidence in this football team to win in the playoffs. But I'm also not very confident in Jason Garrett, their head coach, to give them to make them a winner in the playoffs. Ruben Martinez says, fire Garrett and promote Chris Richard, or fire Garrett and bring Romo and Witten to coach. I'd take option 1 over option 2. Why are people so in love with Romo as the coach? Like, I don't get it. First of all, half the fan base hated Romo when he was here. Like, what happened to you people? Where did you go? I don't understand it. And now all these people want Romo to be their head coach. First of all, you shouldn't hire a coach that has not had coaching experience. Second of all, why do we think Romo would be a good coach? I don't. The things that made Romo a great player aren't exactly teachable. He's the offensive coordinator when he was the head coach. That doesn't make him a good offensive coordinator. It makes him a very smart, good quarterback. But, like, if you're the offensive coordinator and you're Romo, you call the play before the huddle. And then they get up to the line of scrimmage, and that's where Romo's changing plays. You can't do that as the coach or the coordinator. So, I don't know why everybody's in love with Tony Romo as the head coach. No. First of all, you have to work your way up the ladder. You have to prove you can be a head coach. And being a really good quarterback doesn't mean you can be a really good head coach. Especially because, again, the things that made Romo great aren't exactly teachable. So, apologies, Ruben. But I just don't understand what this infatuation is with Romo becoming the head coach. Especially when it's like, do you watch Oklahoma? Go watch Oklahoma football and tell me you don't want that to be your coach. Like, it's insane how good of an offensive team Oklahoma football is. I want Lincoln Riley to be my next head coach if I'm a Cowboys fan. Like, I am watching Oklahoma like, please fire Jason Garrett and go get Lincoln Riley, because that's where the NFL is going. Young, smart, creative, outside the box thinkers that Sean McVay and Matt Nagy, and Andy Reid. I know he's not young, but he's innovative and creative, and Doug Peterson, same kind of thing. Like, that's what it takes to win in the modern NFL. Wayne Bledsoe says, it's not the head coach, but it all falls on the head coach. What is that? Losing? Losing's not on the head coach. Losing's not entirely on the head coach, but losing is certainly a big part of the head coach, and I would argue this head coach in particular has managed to wiggle his way out of being the reason for the losing for a long time. Laura Morales says, not necessarily. Sanchez had a big part of that success. Thank you, Laura Morales, for saying that as well. And again, that's another thing that people are doing. They're rewriting history about Romo being a great help for Dak his rookie year. You know what else is a great help for Dak his rookie year? The best offensive line in football. That was also a big help for Dak. Oh, also the surprise of Dak Prescott. That was a big help too, where they could use a more simplistic offense that didn't have to be, more nuanced and multifaceted. They could be more simplistic because defenses hadn't seen him yet and weren't accustomed to trying to stop the zone read, with him. Well, now they are. So, and they don't have the best offensive line in football anymore. So beyond people pointing out to the coaching staff and now Kellen Moore's the quarterback's coach. Maybe he's not as good as, say, Wade Wilson was. Dak's rookie year, it was Wade Wilson, right? And then Mark we're just grasping for straws here, people. It was the best offensive line in football in the surprise factor. That's why Dak Prescott was really good his rookie year. Oh, and Jason Turner and Zeke. Yeah, him too. But that's what I meant about the zone read. It was just so difficult to defend because teams weren't expecting it, and it was just such a brilliant two-headed monster. Patrick Kahn says Cliff Kingsbury's an option for OC. He worked with Sean McVay over the summer. That's a good question. Would Cliff Kingsbury leave the head coach to be would leave the head coaching job at his alma mater to become the offensive coordinator at an NFL? I don't know that he would. Maybe. Ruben Martinez says, apology accepted, LOL, no worries, bud. Sorry. I love you, Ruben. It's just the Romo question is weighing on me for coach. I love Romo. I defended Romo nonstop when people criticized him. But I don't think he'd be a good head coach. And I'd at least like to see him coach first, like quarterback coach or, offense. I mean, some entry-level coaching position before it's like, here, give him the whole job. Curtis Starks says, well, we will see that teams beat us because they were able to stop Zeke. Now the safeties have to play honest, not cheat up the safeties. Yes. This move keeps the defense honest. Like, line one. This move forces teams to have to double team Amari Cooper. And if not, he's going to get one-on-one opportunities, and he's going to win those opportunities because we know that he wins off the line of scrimmage. Patrick Kahn says, I've talked to those close to Cliff, and he thinks he is eventually going to take an NFL job. Interesting. And I know you went to Tech, didn't you, Patrick? I mean, it's interesting because, if you wanted to be in the NFL as a coach, then he might not get hired from Tech to be an NFL head coach, right? Like, he might have to take an offensive coordinator job first in order to get there. And that's what's interesting is, like, for me, my number one option is Lincoln Riley. But now you're starting to talk me into a little bit of Chris Richard with Cliff Kingsbury as the offensive coordinator. Now I'm starting to buy that a little bit. Patrick says, no, I covered Tech. Got it. Sean Moore says it's 2018, not 2016. People getting all the hype over Cooper and Dak and what they did 2 years ago, but it's 2 seasons later and they haven't done anything consistently good since then. Stop living in the past. So, Sean, you are not optimistic about this move. Is that what I'm getting from you? You do not think that this is a move that's a good move for the Cowboys. Lori Morales says, then again, Garrett can't coach a girls U8 football team, and he got a head coaching job. LOL. A girls U8 football team. Wow, I'd like to see if that actually exists. Under 8 football for girls. That would be incredible. Jerry Portwine says, I think Oklahoma's head coach would be huge for us. Yeah, just watch Oklahoma play football 1 week and then be like, whoa, we can have that. That would be awesome. All right, on YouTube, Stevie Mack in the house, Electric Chicken in the house, Anthony Lovell in the house, Michael Chapp in the house. Michael Chapp says, hey, Broncos might get Patrick Peterson, though, so it's cool. And then Michael Chapp says, is he reading our comments? And then Stevie Mack says, nah, he never checks on here, LOL. That's not true. I do. I just feel like whenever I check YouTube, there's no comments. So then I forget to check it because there's never any comments. And then when I don't check it, there's comments. So my apologies, Stevie Mack. I will try to check these comments more often. So appreciate all you watching on YouTube. I'm Ari Temkin. This is Phantom, putting you at the center of the Dallas sports discussion. If this is your first time, thank you. Nice to meet you. I'm Ari. Hope to see you back here again, time and time again, each and every day at 12 o'clock Central Time, where we shoot the breeze, talk Cowboys, answer your questions. This is the most interactive Cowboy show out there. We put you in the center of it. So let's discuss. And of course, always trying to check all the different platforms. So my apologies for YouTube, for going so long without checking on YouTube. Electric Chicken, which is a fantastic YouTube name, says, as usual, the Cowboys have the talent to succeed. I just don't trust the coaching staff to use it correctly. That's fair. That is very, very fair. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is light at the end of the tunnel. That's what this move indicates to me, if you're a Cowboys fan. They think they can make the playoffs this year, which is why they make this move. And if they don't, Jason Garrett's going to lose his job. So it's a win-win. They win, things are good, they make the playoffs, they lose, and they don't, and Jason Garrett's out of a job. Now you might be part of the camp that says making the playoffs isn't good enough. Well, look, I'm not willing to step out on a ledge any further, but Jason Garrett will lose his job if he doesn't make the playoffs. Is there a chance Jason Garrett could lose his job if they make the playoffs and they lose in the first round? I guess perhaps, maybe. I don't think that would happen. I wouldn't guess that would happen, but I suppose it could very much happen. Ninja Nuts is in the house. It's very late to the party. Where have you been, Ninja? Sean Moore says, meh. He's not buying it. He is not buying that Jason Garrett will still lose his job even if they make the playoffs. Ian Goldberg says playoffs at 9-7, winning the division. He should be fired. You're probably right. Because they went 9-7 last year, didn't make the playoffs. So why would the state of the division change the thought process if 9-7 wasn't good enough last year? Patrick Kahn says, all right, I think this will be a good argument for the Cowboys beat. Whether Jason Garrett will lose his job if the Cowboys make the playoffs? Absolutely. And by the way, everybody, follow Patrick Kahn at Draft Cowboys on Twitter because he is going to be part of my podcast, our podcast moving forward, the Cowboys Beat. So if you've been listening to the Cowboys Beat, thank you for doing so. It's now going to add another talent, which is Patrick Kahn, who does fantastic work. He writes for WFAA and other publications, and I'm really excited to have him as part of the Cowboys Beat. So really excited about that. Michael Bueller says there are 0 great receivers in the upcoming draft. The Cowboys receivers are horrible. And it's not even just that. Like, that's the thing is I'm not willing to buy that there's 0 good receivers in the draft. There's a development part of it. The last rookie to have 1,000 yards receiving in his rookie year was Amari Cooper. So every rookie last year, no 1,000-yard receivers. Every rookie the year before that, no 1,000-yard receiver. And the year before that was Amari Cooper's rookie year. So you've basically had 2 straight years without any rookie receiver getting 1,000 yards. So it's not even just that, like, you may think there's not much talent at the position in the upcoming draft, which may or may not be true. It's that it takes time. Even for great receivers, like very few automatically, start and they're 1,000-yard receivers. There's 2 back-to-back. Odell Beckham and then Amari Cooper. And then in the next 2 years, there have been nobody. Nobody's done it. So Billy Patterson says, get rid of Jason Garrett and Dak. He done missed 18 wide open receivers. Sure. But look, the excuses are gone. There are no excuses. That's what this trade says. They've got Amari Cooper as a legitimate number 1 wideout. They've got Cole Beasley as a legitimate slot receiver. They've got one of the best running backs in football. They've got a good enough offensive line. There's no excuses anymore. Everything is set up for Dak and the coaching staff to be more successful. And if it's not, then you're going to get your wish. Patrick Kahn says, I believe Michael Thomas also had a 1,000-yard season. Look it up. I do not believe so. And he would have been the year after Amari Cooper. But that's a good question. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of today's show. I appreciate it. And sorry for the technical difficulties we had to brave. But again, if this is your first time, thank you. Nice to meet you. I'm Ari. Hopefully you'll be back each and every day, same time, same place, 12 o'clock right here on Phantom. Phantom puts you at the center of the Dallas sports discussion. So help us grow as a network. Help support us. Tell your friends. Hit the share button. Spread the gospel. Do that for us. And I will be with you every day to answer your questions, your thoughts, your opinions. And hopefully I won't get as aggressive as I did with Ruben Martinez earlier. So I apologize about that. But thank you to all the Showtimers, the people that stream this show each and every single day. This show doesn't work without you. Keith Price, Ian Goldberg, Jay Navarro, Patrick Kahn, my brother Jason Wright, Neil Favre, Jay Navarro, Sean Moore, Ninja Nuts, John Dyer, my dad. Hi, Dad. I didn't see you. Dakota Stiegel, Lori Morales, Ryan Ariano, Patrick Prescott, and many, many more. Thank you. Thank you for what you do, being a part of this show and this community every single day. Help us grow our community. Spread the gospel. Tell people. I will be back tomorrow at 12 o'clock noon. I will have some film on Amari Cooper to show you about how sweet that release is. And, maybe we'll have more to talk about. So, for now, I'm out. Peace, everybody.